washed out.
Okay.
Hey, we're live.
We're
Hola.
live, but this
Hola.
light
You're
is
not?
weird. What? You're what? Oh, retina.
Is that too bright?
Yes. Oh, that's worse.
See, I don't even have my light on here. I'm in my dining room at the moment.
No,
My
go with
messy
that one. That
kitchen's
one looks
behind
good.
me.
That's
So
more
if you see the
natural.
mess, that's because I haven't cleaned up anything from invoicing all night.
I think you're a vampire. Like, oh my God, the light.
There is no sunshine. Okay.
No, there's not.
It's dark outside.
Hi,
We even have-
Helen.
Hello, Helen. We have a tornado warnings, I guess.
Well,
Watch.
it was warning, then watch. Now, heavy thunderstorms and wind and.
We're getting whistles through our window. Woo! Sounds like a ghost.
Ooh.
Woo.
Or we're just really good looking.
Hey, that's fun weather to sleep through, except I would be concerned. The tornado thing might actually scare me. That's something that we don't get. So, yeah,
I have
tornado
trouble
warnings
waking up
hit
in
me.
the morning when it's raining because my room doesn't get light. And I wake up and I go, oh, it's still dark. It's still early. So I roll over and go back to sleep. And I'll wake up and it's 12:30 and I'm like,
Dolores.
no.
Hey, Miss Damn Jewelry. Hi, Dolores.
Hello, LJ. I've been wanting to catch one of your shows, Dolores, and I never get up in time. You do them too early in the morning. Then I see.
Look
my
at us.
God,
We're three that don't get up early.
I've been
I-
sleeping in lately.
I'm surprised you're up now for as late as you stayed up last night.
Oh,
I
my
want to
God.
get up early, but I stay up late.
When
I went to
When
bed
I get
midnight
started, I
last
want
night.
to. I like to get
I'm
it done
still
because
sleeping
I want the
9:30.
rest of the week that I can play. But and this is the part of it that Brad does not help me with at all. He will go to the store. He went to the store. I needed more packing peanuts, so he goes. He went into town yesterday to get some bubble wrap and packing peanuts because I had enough to get started. And the place where we buy the mailbox place we get the packing peanuts from, I usually buy one of those great big huge things.
Mhm.
They don't have any. They're out, except for a couple of little small bags they're selling for $5 a piece. So he brought home
Nice.
2 of the small bags, and I think it's enough, might be enough to get me through. I've still got actually 3 boxes I need to pack. So I went ahead and went online last night and ordered some. Got that in here. I needed boxes too, though, so I ordered boxes last night too.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna find it cheaper online, anyways.
I know. But anyway,
Yeah, I always get mine online.
Yeah.
who do you order yours through?
How do I get mine? I get mine off of Amazon, my peanuts and my bubble
Do
wrap
you?
I
Mine's
get from
out,
Bubble
yeah.
Boy.
Okay. I've been ordering from Uline and I like Uline. I like their boxes. I haven't
get
ordered
boxes
their
from
peanuts
Uline.
before, but their shipping is expensive, but you get it like the next day. So I'll have
Mhm.
everything tomorrow.
Well, I have the Prime thing, so we get it anyways.
Right.
Free.
Yeah.
Well, I
Or
have
the next
Prime
day
too,
or
but I
whatever.
wasn't sure. I hadn't tried to order peanuts through Prime. So,
Yeah,
and some
that's
of the
where I get my
boxes.
peanuts. I get my peanuts and my bubble
I
wrap
don't use peanuts.
and my paper I get from Walmart because I usually can get a big deal on the big package of
Mhm.
paper.
Yeah, I
And
get
then
that too there.
Bubble Boy, I get the 4 packs of bubble wrap
Okay.
from Bubble Boy. And then I usually get 2 big bags of the peanuts at a time.
Ooh, hey, Mr. Bradley.
You don't use
Oh my
peanuts?
gosh. Of course.
In
He's
one of
probably
my
at the honey
packages-
hole. Hi, Pamela.
Hey, Pamela.
He's at
In one of my
the,
packages, I'll
he's
have
probably at the
peanuts,
honey hole.
paper, and bubble wrap. And sometimes air pillows because I buy air pillows too. So I
You
could
would have all those
I could have
peanuts
all-
and air
I
pillows
could
and
have
paper.
all of those in one package.
How do those work? How do air pillows work when you order them? I mean, do you blow
Keeps
them
it
up
away from the
yourself?
sides,
They
basically.
come in a long
Yeah.
string. And they're
Yeah.
You
all
can just-
rolled up.
They're preparated. You can just rip them off.
And then
They'll
they
be
automatically kind of
this
inflate?
big around.
No, they're already fat.
They're
Oh, are
fat.
they?
They're this big around in just streams, and you just tear them off like ticket stubs. So if you need,
Interesting.
2 or 3 to line a wall, just tear off 3 at a time, and they stay hooked together so they don't shift.
Hmm.
So they help.
Yeah,
they
I've
just
never
keep your item
used
away from the
those.
wall.
I
Yeah, I
am
like 'em
using more
because they don't
paper.
shift.
I am using more paper and less peanuts, but I am still using the peanuts. But I like the way the paper, when you crumple it up and everything, how it cushions everything. And you can use it around, you can kind of cram it in between things to keep them from hanging into each other. So I have been using quite a bit of paper lately too.
You see, I find that peanuts tend to shift in shipment. So I will put paper in and then peanuts, and the peanuts tend to go into the crevices of the paper and keep them from compressing. Keeps the peanuts from shifting and the paper from compressing. And then if I have any big spaces, like in the corners especially, things like that, I'll put air pillows down in them, because then it all is just smushed nice and tight and doesn't move.
We good, Brad. We good.
We got
some bad weather in the area. I was wondering if she's even going to show up, but yeah.
I was early today.
Yeah.
I'm usually flying in on my broomstick.
On her broomstick, yeah.
Oh, Margo's on. Ha, honey. Yeah, I'm here. I didn't even go back to sleep. I got up. Well, because, honey, what happened was I couldn't sleep after I found that PayPal had a 1099 for me. So I couldn't go back to sleep because, of course, I'm tossing it through. Because now that's going to be all the stuff I didn't think I was going to have to do. Now I'm going to have to get out receipts. I've got to go onto Pirate Ship and try to print out the whole thing for 2022 from January to December 2022 so we can get that part deducted, because that's not income at all. Because you charge the client. So that's not income. So that's got to come off of PayPal's thing.
And all the cost of all your peanuts.
Oh, you know what? You could do that, honey, but let's talk about that before you come home. We'll talk on the phone about that.
What's he talking about?
He's talking about Martha. He's talking about Martha.
About me. They send me presents.
She sent me I had ordered that thing there. That's a funky brass thing, and the
Food Lion thing.
I saw that. I pulled it out and I put because you reuse all my boxes and tissue. I put it back out in my shipping supplies and I divvy it out in the boxes it goes in. And I had sat it out there as soon as I took that out, and I just sat it out there. Didn't mess with it until I went out there. Almost a month later did I actually, pull it apart and break it down and found this, something else bubble wrapped in there. And I was like, oh my God, wait, whose box was this? And I'm looking and it says Margo on the front. I was like, and I open it up. It's this cute little dumbbell dummy.
It's a Fitz and Floyd. It's a little Fitz and Floyd. He does have a little chip in him, I noticed, but he's cute.
I think it said Dum Dum. It's one of those Dunce boys hats.
She's wondering why you never said nothing about it.
Well, when I did, I sent her a picture.
I sent people surprise things sometimes. Yeah, I sent Dana Grace. I had been sitting on these crocheted or needlepoint or something. I don't know how to tell the difference. Needlepoint, I guess, pillows of bulldogs that I had found. And I'd been sitting on them forever because she was supposed to be moving or something. And then she didn't. So I finally put them in a box and sent them to her. I know, honey, we've talked about that. Go away with all that stuff. I don't want to talk about all that tax shit right now. Anyway, so I sent him to her before Christmas and she never said anything. And then she sent me this email this morning, and she's like, oh my God, I feel so embarrassed. I finally opened this box from December something that I've just been sitting on. She's like, I figured it was just these tinsel things I'd ordered, and here are those bulldog pillows in there. So it's like, and I figure, I know people don't always open boxes right away, because I've been like that in my day of shopping resellers big time. I would have, sometimes 3 and 4 boxes a day show up. Do you think I opened them all? No, not right away.
I've got a box from Claudia K. Vintage that has been in my studio for about 10 months that I haven't opened.
Really? You remember what it is then?
Yes, I know what it is. It's a tea light, a candle holder, one of those crystal ones, and it's a squirrel. It's from Avon, and so unless there's something else in there, that's all that's in there.
I just have another one out there for you.
I haven't got ready to use it, so I haven't opened it. I forgot I had it because it's in the box.
I'm bad that I just ordered last week, and they get here the very, within 4 to 7 days, and I'm like, oh, what did I order? I'm bad about that. What did I get? And it's not until I open it. Oh yeah, I remember
You
now.
start doing the I order something.
Yeah, I do that. I'm real bad about that.
What is that?
Sometimes I get this box saying, "Oh, somebody sent me a surprise," and then I open it. It's like, no, now I remember ordering that.
Well, one of the things we're going to start talking about on here weekly are some. Y'all need to look up in your state? Do y'all have crazy laws in your state? Crazy laws,
leftover still on the books that really need to be gotten rid of.
They're evidently, I've heard about some, like in some counties or something, it's illegal to walk down the street with a mask on. And I don't know if that is still applicable or not. And it's been years since I heard about it, so I have no idea. But you know what I'm thinking about, that even though just not weird laws, look at what our acquaintances and associates in Ohio are dealing with right now. Have you guys heard about that or watched any of them? Like Cindy Mimi's Treasure Cottage, Sabrina's dealing with it now. So I wonder about Claudia Kay, because she's in Ohio. Well, Ohio recently passed a law. Evidently it passed in June and came into effect in September, that requires anybody doing any type of online auctions has to have an auctioneer's license. And it's kind of screwed these gals up. So what they've been trying to do is to get around it, is they've been trying to do, you can't even call it an offer up. You can't change the name of it. If you're doing, and eBay's covered, I guess, because eBay is a legitimate auction house. So they're the ones actually holding the auction, not the person, even though the stuff is up for you put it up for auction. But because eBay is like a third party or a second party auction house, that's okay. So what I know that Sabrina tried to do the other night, and I know Cindy's tried to do it, and I haven't watched how it's working for Cindy, but with Sabrina, it was just total confusion the other night. So what she's doing is trying to do, she can do buy it nows, no problem. So if she wants to do like an offer up, say she wants to start it at $15. So what she does is she says, we're going to, it's the price on this is $15. It's a buy it now 15. But if more than one person comes in for the 15, then what they do is say, okay, now the price is 17. And if more than one person still comes in on the 70, they'll go up to say 20 hypothetically. And so actually what she's doing is raising the price, which to me still is borderlining on that auction thing. If you're allowing the price to go up, even though you're the one setting the price and not the buyers, I think that's still borderlines on an auction kind of thing, but I won't debate that. But it's confusing people badly trying to do this. And after about 3 times of raising the price, then what they're doing is saying, okay, now we are going to do it, do like a drawing with it. And the first person of the 3 people who've been showing interest in this item that put a number, between blah, 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 and blah, 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 gets it. And it's just totally confusing. It's taking up a lot of time.
So she's having to do it after they keep raising the prices and somebody was yes, I'll take it for 17. No, I'll take it for 18. Then she's throwing in a number, and then so the one that bid like 15 could get it.
No, at 18? No. It would have to be like, say so say now everybody's saying
they would take it for that highest dollar.
That's what I mean. Out of the 3, even though that high, Martha got it.
They still take it for the higher dollar. It would still be.
I'm at 17. You're at 15.
You would have to.
No.
I'd have to be at 18, and she would have to be at 18.
Oh, yes. And then we draw a number.
And then you're going to have to decide who at 18 is the one that's going to get it. Otherwise, you could be going all night long with this. And when you're doing a sale with somebody else, it's taking, 3 and 4 times the time. See, Pamela says too, she thinks it's still an auction. I think
so. Let's just start it at $50. And any takers? Okay, how about
we could go down? Could they go down, or is that still an auction?
It's still an auction.
I think to me it's still an auction, regardless of how they're doing it. It's still an auction But that's something they're going to have to deal with Ohio law over. And
I think that is bullshit because
I was in Cindy. I just happened to go in Cindy's cell that day when she was talking about it, and I asked her what it was.
No, that doesn't make an auction, Tammy. Just because
usually
rolling your
it confuses them.
Because usually when there's legislation, they'll give you like an effective date. So they'll pass a legislation and say, okay, this comes into effect on blah, blah, blah date. So Cindy was talking September. I said, well, when did it come into effect? Because a lot of times it wouldn't come into effect until after the first of the year. Sometimes they'll give you a year to get things in order and get things figured out how you're going to adjust to new legislation.
And then sometimes it's still.
But she knew about it in June. The hearings evidently on it or something were all in June, or it was presented in June, and it can't. No, it passed in June to come into effect in September. So why weren't these people screaming about it that knew it was coming? I'd have been on the phone with my legislators in a heartbeat. But I imagine it was probably one of those things that slipped through the cracks. It's probably, people think it has to do with the state wanting to collect their taxes. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has to do with legitimate auctioneers not liking the fact that they're losing business over online type auctions or something like that. So somebody got a hold of the legislator.
No, what's the difference?
No,
we're selling stuff.
I'll explain it to you. And I totally
Hi, Carrie Ann.
Because to be in a legitimate auction house, they are
that's not a bad idea, Dolores.
Permits and licenses and all that kind of stuff. And they have to do reporting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like me having a car lot, me having to have all my licenses, paying all my bonds, doing all my monthly reporting. But then the guy down the street has a car lot, but he ain't registered with nobody, but he's selling cars off the side of the road.
Hell, we can talk about that with just car insurance in general. People still driving a car around without it paying insurance.
That's not a bad idea, Dolores.
And then I get hit by them, and they don't have to pay crap. My insurance pays out. So
these auction houses probably got together and they pushed for these legislators to do that because they are donating money. And so they get their stuff done. They banded together, donated money, and it's just like brokers in trucking. And
they hire a lobbyist who goes in and gets the job done is what they do.
Exactly. The lobbyist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I agree. But
I think Dolores has got a great idea.
That you can't even do eBay.
There you go. I like how Dolores says, doing it like the Price is Right.
Yeah, the price is between blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And whoever guesses it gets it. That's not a bad idea because then it's more like a contest rather than an auction.
But then again,
you can do a flat price if that's the case.
Here's the deal. If I say I want 50 for it and somebody bids 5 and somebody bids 6 and somebody bids 7 as their price, 7 is the closest one. I'm not selling it for 7. Oh, hi.
No, so what you do is you say, like Dolores said, you say this. So if you want 50 for it, you say the price is between 45 and 55. So at least if you don't get the 50, you're going to get a minimum of 45 for it. Something like that. So you're still going to get close. I think Dolores is onto something there. I think that's a good idea.
Hey, let's
and then
do
it becomes
that.
more like
Price is Right thing.
Yeah, let's play Price is Right. I like it, but we can't call it that because that's taken by somebody else.
We can come up with another name.
Wait, is that a word?
That would be a really, really good one. But Sabrina the other day, I felt so sorry for her. I mean, everybody in the chat was just screwed up. And then, of course, she's doing a sell with Beth. And Beth's doing everything the regular way. So then the people are like, well, which way are we supposed to do this? Very, very confusing. Super, super confusing. There's got to be an easier way.
Well, the
Hello, B Avenue.
Refer to were a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah. Hey, B, long time no see.
Buzz.
Hello, Kathy.
And you and your sister's coming through town so we can go eat at Papacita's.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah, Lori and her sisters come through town sometimes. They're supposed to let me know so we can go eat.
Supposed to let you know. They've probably already been here like 10 times.
You know what? If you time
it Picasso Cat.
If they time it when Dave's here, we can get Dave to take us.
Bradley, please be careful how much shit you bring home. Remember, we may not have the corner anymore, and I'm running out of room.
Why don't you have the corner no more?
My living room looks like.
You don't stand on the corner no more? Tell us about it. Are
I
you
want
out?
I want to when the weather's warmer. Yes, I want to.
Maybe
But
you're not showing enough leg or
the
stocking.
gal, no, it's a woman running the
More
show now,
cleavage,
so she's not
Margo, more
interested in my cleavage or my legs, so or my big old
Y'all know
booty.
she stands on the corner, right? Y'all know that. This isn't a surprise, right? Look at her. Margo, this is not a corner. Leave your cleavage out of this one.
No,
They've got the guy who owned the shop that basically runs this thing. He sold the business. He doesn't own the property. And so the property is still leased, but he sold the business, and some gal bought the business, and she's very nice. She's been coming into my sales. And she's very nice, but she's got some concerns and things aren't working out the way she wanted it to. And so we got a phone call the other day from one of our friends who also goes and stands on the corner, and she had evidently called and she had evidently anyway, Patty had evidently called her and told her not to come in on Saturday, that she's looking at liability insurance and stuff. So I promised our friend Powell that I would go down and talk to Patty and find out what's going on. But she could pull the plug on all of us selling down there on the corner, because
then she's not that great of a gal.
She's what?
She's not that great of a gal. If she can
she does this, I know. So I got to go find out what the scoop is, because I was hoping before we do our trip, once the weather warms up, that we could go down, because I could use some pocket money. That's not going through.
Why don't you just buy a
That's
corner?
not going through here.
Why don't you just buy a
Go
corner?
across the street and claim that corner.
Go buy my. Well, but there is, if you think about it, there is liability involved. But she's not the property owner. She's leasing the property. She bought the business, but the building that she's in and the property where all of our little resellers, our vendors go and everything, that's not hers. That she's just leasing that. So then that's my next question. Did she have any liability? Or is it the property owner? Because supposedly some of this has to do with liability. So wouldn't it be the property owner is the one who would have to carry the liability, not the one leasing the property? I would think.
Actually, I think it would be the person leasing it, because they're the one that's determining what the business is and what's going on the property. But I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say.
And then I thought, well, because she's charging the vendors to be there, then that would maybe place the liability, because she's collecting fees. So that would probably roll the liability onto her. Whereas if she wasn't, then I would think it might be more the property owner, but I don't know.
Because if you think about it, if you go into a store in a strip mall where all these businesses are renting these locations from the mall owner, and you get hurt in their business, it's that business owner that you look to for compensation, not the owner of the mall in general, unless it was you were hurt because of a item that the mall owner is responsible for the repair or upkeep of. But
I see it, yeah, or in the common areas of the mall, kind of thing.
Right. So, I'm not a lawyer. I just stayed in the Holiday Inn Express last night, so what do I know? Isn't that how that commercial goes?
I was thinking, wait, you really did stay in a Holiday Inn last night? What is this about? You're getting some gossip, some tea here.
No, but look, my husband's not out of town. It would have been fine if I was in the hotel last night. So tell us one of your crazy Texas laws, Tammy.
Okay. One of them, let's see. Which one was it?
Do the one about your neighbor.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
No, that's not it. No. That's not it.
Right there.
No, that's one. But actually, I like. Where is it? Hold on.
I have a list of them.
We have a list. We must consult because she can't find it.
The cow.
Yes. It's gone. It's gone. Did we make that up?
No, that is.
Are you sure? I think we made
this
it
one?
up. Oh yeah, that one.
Okay.
I like that one.
Okay, one of the Texas laws here, it is illegal to go milk your neighbor's cow. There is no milking of neighbors' cows.
And then see, I wanted to know, was that like a euphemism or metaphor for something else? You know,
I wish it
like,
would
thou shalt not milk your neighbor's cow.
I wish they would tell you when this law came in effect. So how long ago? Because some of the laws
you should be able to tell. Usually there's like a number, some numbers down below, and it'll kind of show years, different years. It'll show the original year,
that
and
one
it'll
did
show
not.
anytime there was an amendment or something. Anytime there was any years that there was any kind of action where it was revisited for anything, there should be like dates there.
Yeah, I just felt like, you know, I was reading more into it maybe than what it was meant, or not enough.
Thou shalt not milk thy neighbor's cow.
Okay.
So is cow another name, using a descriptive name for something else?
Oh, we can make a lot of t-shirts with some of these.
Yeah, we're okay. We call it. That's our t-shirt. Thou shalt not milk thy neighbor's cow.
It's in Texas. It's a law to milk a person's cow. Wait, in Texas, it's illegal to milk another person's cow.
The Texas Penal Code states that doing so results in a fine of no more than $10. The current Texas law makes the act a theft of personal property.
Hey, I would like for somebody to come do my chores for me.
I thought you were going to say, I wish somebody would come milk my cow.
Look at Pamela. She says,
milk
in Arizona, Pamela says, in Arizona, you can't give a donkey a bath in a bathtub on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Now, is that because on Sunday was the fresh wash day? That was like, you know, the thing that never throw the bathwater out with the baby, or however that went, because on Sunday was the fresh water day. So they didn't want the donkey in the clean water. So you had to wait until after everybody else got the clean water before the donkey could use it.
Well, I knew that with the baby, it was that, you know, everybody in the household would bathe in the same tub of water, and you bathed according to head of household, the father, the mother, the oldest child, down to the baby. And they said by the time you got to the baby, the water could be so dirty that
you didn't see the baby in the tub.
You see the baby and you just throw it all out.
Okay, that sounds like a problem, because if you can't see the baby, that means the baby's underwater.
Yeah,
I mean, double problem there.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's kind of like with the pot to pee in thing. So it's back from
pot to pee in.
Well, I wasn't going to use the nasty one.
I use that saying with my kids all the time. That's another thing when you do those. I'm always telling you ain't got a pot to piss in. You know.
She said it, not me.
I always say that to my children. That is
And then you explained it to Dave. It was so funny.
Did I explain it to you?
Yes, you explained it to Dave, and I don't know who was selling leather. It was Scott was selling leather, and I was sitting there going, I wonder who's tanned that leather.
Yeah, I just learned that. I didn't know that they would collect everybody's pots that they peed in to go to the person that does
tannery. Yeah,
tannery. That's what it's called, to tan the leather.
That's how they
did that. They did that. I did not know that.
That's where the term "a pot to piss in." If you were poor, you couldn't even afford to buy a pot for everybody to pee in, so that you could sell that to the tannery. So that was being so poor, you didn't have a pot to piss in.
I just thought it was so poor that you didn't have a pot that you could actually piss in, that you'd have to go outside and piss in the dirt.
That's the way I took it.
They tanned leather with it?
Yes.
So now you find old leather. Ooh.
I'm sure, you know, in more recent days they've come up with some other chemical.
Now I don't want that kind of leather. I don't want the old leather.
But you might want to consider when did they stop using that specific thing to tan leather, and so you can wonder about your antique leather goods.
Exactly.
I know.
The smell's gone.
I love the smell of leather. Boot Barn is my favorite store. I go into Boot Barn. It's like, I love the smell of Boot Barn.
Do you think that leather smell is a tint of yarn?
I don't think
No.
so, because I don't like the smell of urine. I think because this is all new leather in there. But do you ever, like, when you're in a thrift store or in a antique mall or something, you see something leather and you're like, oh, I gotta smell it because I want to smell the leather, and not thinking that it may have been soaked in freaking urine. Oh God, I won't be doing that anymore.
I don't think malls and urine tanning, worked in the same decade,
right?
Era.
Oh.
Yeah, Margo.
Oh.
But it's like, remember when we were in school, Margo, you'll remember it. She won't. Remember the papers, the mimeograph papers? You'd get them and they'd still be wet. And oh, they smell so good.
What's
I love
mimeograph?
the smell of weird smells when I was a kid. I used to love the smell of gasoline too.
They were the ones that they would spin like this and run the paper through it. They'd crank it and they would put the blank on the deal with it on there, and they'd ink it and they'd spin it like this.
Always smell it.
That's how they trot out the papers for the classroom, and it always smells.
Are you that much older than me?
Yes. If you watch even Fast Times at Ridgemont High, maybe you did that. You see him. Mr. Hand hands out the papers in class, and every kid in class picks up the paper and goes and smells.
Oh, I'll have to go watch. Now I'm going to have to go watch that. Yeah.
Oh, it did. It got quiet.
I still like the smell of
the rain earlier.
I still like the smell of like concrete or the asphalt after it's rained, when you go outside and you can smell that.
Yes.
I like that smell.
Well, I would say I like the smell of lighter fluid, but that would just sound terrible.
I like the smell of the glue. It brings you back to my elementary, my
or the paste. Remember that pasty glue? We used to eat that shit too.
The paste,
that's made from
well, it didn't work, did it, Margo? It sure didn't work. You can talk still. Didn't glue that mouth shut.
They had that stupid stick in the middle of it.
Yes.
Why did that taste good?
I don't know, because I sure wouldn't do it now or eat it now. It's just like the smell of gasoline. When I was a kid, I thought gasoline smelled so good. I loved it when my dad was out there pumping the gas and everything in the car. And now I can't stand the smell of it.
And see, I was that way when my dad would fill a cigarette lighter. And that's why I bought a cigarette lighter from Bradley for my son. So he can fill it. Your son, let me do that for you. I need 2 bottles of that stuff in the kitchen.
Y'all gonna have to come back next week and give us a weird, crazy law from your state. I want to hear what y'all have. These are all Texas ones that we're going to be showing on our end, but I want to hear what y'all have. I could go look them up, but
and we don't want to do none of these new horrible laws that they've got going on. We want none of those.
No,
because those are
you want that old stuff, like in the old,
that are corny. They're like, oh, I have a good one in here. I just, it's mind blowing and it's hilarious, and it's like, why can't we get them just on that alone?
Which one? Go ahead and hit them with it. Which one is
it? This one.
Oh my God!
Yes. I just died at this one, and now there's a.
We were back and forth on this one because it was so funny.
And it's.
See if she can find it on here so she can read it.
So I'm gonna let you read that part.
Okay.
But for you. A Texas law, and I wish I knew when these started. You have to give a 24-hour notice to your victim if you intend to make a crime against them.
Yeah, it says,
I'm going to come and put a knife in your back tomorrow. Time.
It says, those planning to commit a crime in Texas are required by law to provide their victim with a 24-hour written or verbal notice. The law was put on the books in an effort to reduce crime.
Oh, I'm sure it really worked too.
So Tammy said she was going to come rob my house tomorrow, and I said,
I'm giving you my notice.
And I'm just giving her my notice. I'm waiting with a gun. I mean, can you imagine? Oh my God.
I wonder when they did put that law out there, how many
idiots gave notice?
Yeah. Beware, sometime you got to stay up for 24 hours because I'm a coming.
I wonder if that's that when you least expect it.
Oh, there you go. That might be where that saying came from.
That's so funny.
A 24-hour notice to your victim to commit a crime. Wow. I find that hilarious.
And I wonder if when they're finally arrested for the crime, if the charges are compounded because they didn't give the proper notice.
Yeah, exactly. You're in trouble just alone for that to begin with. And now we're tacking on everything else that you did. But I've never heard about that.
Oh, somebody is persistent.
It looks like one of my kids.
Oh, I was gonna say if it's a spam call, let's answer it.
Because it's from the bowling alley.
Oh, well, I know it's your brother.
It could be one of my kids. I got two working there too.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Huh? No, he just stopped. Oh, we probably did earlier. But I'm live right now, so
You're live. You're live. But you're live.
But no, it stopped raining here. All right. Bye. That was my son wondering if it was still bad over here.
You know,
he's at work.
As good as the night is when your brother stopped in the window and goes, "Hey man, y'all got any Coke?"
Yeah,
he was thirsty.
We've got clear skies. We've still got a little leftover snow on the ground, but we've got clear skies. But it's cold. It's just cold. Even our daytime temperatures are barely reaching the low 40s. It's just cold. It's really cold.
We are 64 with a tornado watch and 2 other advisories.
64. It's chilly.
It's a little chilly. Even
64
my phone
would be beautiful. No, I'd love 64.
See, look, my phone has lightning every night. See, look, there's my phone lightning. Oh my goodness. I was going to ask Margo a question. Darn it.
I hate it when I forget questions.
Oh my word.
That means I'm going to forget the answers.
And what kind of a question could you have for me?
I was going to ask you something about your trip. So, you're going on a trip in May, right?
Yes, we leave May 17th. We fly from Reno to LA, and then we fly from LA to Paris. But we're only in Paris we're not going to see Paris. We're in Paris for 3 hours.
Oh.
And then we fly from Paris to Prague.
You can get arrested in 3 hours.
Yeah.
I just better learn how to pronounce a few things. But we are in Prague. I think it's almost 4 days that we're in Prague. And the cruise company, Brad has cruised with this company before, and this was one of his father's favorite cruises. So he wanted to do this one. So he made all the arrangements. So we spend like almost 4 days in Prague, and this cruise company has, even while you're doing the pre-cruise thing in Prague, they have excursions and tours and things that they take you on. So we'll be doing stuff every day. On the last day, then they shuttle us down to Vienna. And we make various stops on the way to Vienna. So it's like all day getting from Prague to Vienna. Then when we get to Vienna, we board this riverboat, this river ship. I don't know what to call it. And we board that in Vienna, and we're on the Danube. And so then we're 2 weeks on the Danube to Amsterdam, and every day it sails at night, and every day you're in a different port. So they take you, there's all these tours that you can take. You don't have to go on them all if you don't want to. And most of it it's my understanding that most of it is people in this age group, mostly retired type people in this age group. There will be some younger people, but not a lot. There's only like 160 passengers or something like that. So we did get one of those cabins where we've got the little balconies. So if we want to sit out while it's cruising or whatever, have our morning coffee or whatever, we can do that. And then, so like I said, it's 2 weeks to Amsterdam that we're on it. And then we get to Amsterdam and we went ahead and added on a post cruise extension. So we'll go from Amsterdam to Bruges. And then we spend 3 days in Bruges. And then we go back to, then they fly us back to Amsterdam. And then we fly home from Amsterdam again. So we're gone about 3 weeks.
So what do you plan on doing in Amsterdam, Margo?
You want me to
Amsterdam
I don't know if you can bring that shit home. I don't know what we're gonna do. But I have already Googled thrift stores in Prague, and I know for sure there's at least 3 that I found in Prague.
Oh, that's gonna be fun though. Seriously.
You're really gonna be looking for smalls.
Very smalls. And this is how Brad thinks. He's going to, you got to pack light anyway, but he's going to just take old underwear and socks. So when he wears them, he can just throw them away. And so it'll have more room in the suitcase. He showed me the other night, he's got a hole in one of his pairs of socks. And I'm like, oh God, throw those away. We'll just get new. He's no, these are going to Europe with me. These are going on the cruise. And then he can throw them away. He wants to wear all of the old stuff so he can throw it all away, his old socks and underwear.
So as he's wearing something, he can buy something new after he throws that set away. That's what's this much space for something. Underwear and socks, you only got some space. I mean, they fold up and it's not going to be that much space.
Oh my God.
You can get a small, and you know what? Those old socks, those could be good for padding. You could wrap something inside the socks. Why throw them away? They could be our packing material.
I don't want to buy that object now. Except you're wrapped up in them stinky socks.
This one was wrapped up in Brad's old underwear, right?
Brad's underwear, that could be a special.
I'm surprised Helen's not having fun with all this.
She's laughing.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comebacks.
Oh my God, my face is burning.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the plan.
Dang, people are going to forget about you, Margo. You better go live somewhere.
Well, I'm hoping that we can. There's supposed to be internet on the ship. I haven't called my cell phone company yet. I've got AT&T to find out what I'm looking at as far as charges and using my cell phone. So I'll be limited with that. But I know that there is Wi-Fi on the ship. So I'm going to take my small laptop with me. So hopefully I can tap into that.
AT&T as well, Margo, and I just got a notice a few days ago that says that your AT&T is like regular usage anywhere in the world now.
Really? I don't think I've gotten that. So.
Same, but that's what the message I got recently was.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great if it is. Brad's already called his. I think he's just got T-Mobile or something like that. And they told him not to use the phone on the ship at all, because then the charges go sky high or something for some reason. They told him if he's going to use the phone, try to do it when he's off the ship. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is, but excuse me. So I don't know.
My nose run.
I didn't know that was contagious. Hey, proud American.
Proud American. And deliver it in Brad's used undergarments.
So you're going to be on the ship for 3 weeks. What is there to do? It's not I'm sorry. You're not going to be on a ship.
Sex, drugs.
No, they're in a different port every day. Every day you stop somewhere. So I've got all of this kind of hypothetical itinerary of the everyday things and where they take you on any particular day. They might I don't know. I'd have to go and look at it. I know that there is one while we're in Prague. They do have a Tour de Theresienstadt, or they call it Theresen now. I think they don't call it Theresienstadt anymore. And that's something I definitely want to do. Now, Auschwitz, when Brad and I first met, he asked me if I was going to go somewhere, where's one place on my bucket list I really want to see? And Auschwitz was the first thing I said. And he's already been there. He immediately, of course, broke out his phone to show me that he's already been to Auschwitz. So I have Googled it. Auschwitz is about a 4-hour car ride from Prague. and there's not a tour to Auschwitz with the cruise, but you can do private tours. And I said, you can't get me 4 hours from Auschwitz and not take me to Auschwitz. That's my number one on my bucket list. I've been wanting to do.
But if you're there just for the day, this got to be a quick trip.
Well, what they do is they pick you up. I've already looked at some of these private tours, and they pick you up like 7 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And basically you're gone for about 14 hours. They drive you there. And then you're there for about 3 or 4 hours at Auschwitz, and then they bring you back. And I think they said the whole day is about 14 hours.
14 hours to be there for 3.
No, you drive 4 hours.
Oh, I thought she said 14.
No, it's 14 for the day.
Okay.
So
14 for the entire day, 2 back, and the tour into Auschwitz.
Okay.
So that's something I would really like to do. If we can swing that one, I've got to look into that one more. So, and the cruise, we talked to the cruise company about it, and they actually told me what day would be the best day where there was something not so wonderful going on that we could skip to do the tour to Auschwitz if I want to try to arrange that. But I don't, it was like the day before the last day. So I'd have to double check. I've got my dates confused because by the time we get there, we're almost like a day ahead already. So I kind of got to get a feel for how that's going to work. Cause even the flight from LA to Paris is like 11 hours. So that almost puts us a whole day ahead.
My advice to you is if it's something you want to do, definitely do it, because I regret so badly not going to Stonehenge when I was in England. I mean, and I physically couldn't because my feet hurt so bad. I could hardly walk on them. But now I wish I might have just toughed it out, took a pain pill and walked that swelling out of it and gone, because I don't know if I'll
and see, and I thought of that too, because Brad even said to me, he's like, we can do Auschwitz on another trip. And I said, who's to say we're ever going to get the opportunity to do another trip over there? I'm going to be 4 hours away from it. That's been the number one on my bucket list. You can't get me that close and not take me there. We've got to figure this one out. So yeah, I agree. And so I'm already trying to think, they tell you I'm trying to downsize on the shoes that I'm taking with me. So you want to have one pair that's kind of, your little evening shoe. Brad and I debated about this the other night because he's like, I don't know why you have to take any cowboy boots. And I'm like, I'll just take I'll take 2 pair that are the most lightweight ones that actually, are soft leather that can kind of fold up smaller. Why do you need any? I said, because those are my evening shoes. I don't wear little strappy sandal. I said, what do you consider an evening shoe? He said, oh, like a little shoe with a little heel. I said, that's my boots. That's what I wear are my nicer cowboy boots are my evening shoes.
Why did they see you in a little strappy sandal?
I wouldn't know how to walk in little strappy sandals. My boots.
Those are just for in bed.
Yeah. But so I need a good walking shoe. I have
from Margo.
But I want a good walking shoe so that when we're out doing all this stuff, because I don't want to miss a thing. I want to be able to do as much as possible and be as mobile as possible. So
bring an extra pair of insoles for your good walking shoe, and then that way mid through your trip you can slide in some new insoles.
Good idea. Good idea. I don't know what I've got some Merrells, but they're more like a hiking shoe rather than a walking shoe. I want a really nice, soft, cushiony walking shoe. So I don't know if anybody's got suggestions on great walking shoes. Let me know.
Beth's school is in a shelter in place. Over in is her school? Look, say we're tornado again. Her computer keeps giving us the alerts, and it'll come up and it'll say tornado, and then it'll jump over and it'll say, heavy rain or rain stopping now, and we're on tornado again.
And it's quiet outside. The quiet before the storm.
Yeah, I know.
Are we going green? Quick, somebody put Twister on.
Right, Kay.
So, hey, Kay.
Okay. And anybody else that we haven't said hello to or hasn't said something in the chat so that we don't know you're there? See, it keeps going from tornado to something else.
No, I hope you guys don't get hit. That one in Alabama. Where was that in Alabama? Was it last week?
Well, if it's going to hit it, better wait till I go to the bathroom.
Why the bathroom?
Well, I'd rather pee before than after.
She don't want it to scare the piss out of her.
Yeah, you don't want a puddle here. Where do you want your puddle, Tam? Here or in there? Can I say?
Well, you're lucky. You're lucky to be going on this trip. But I can't think about trips. All I want to do is go thrifting. That's my happy place.
It's my happy place too. I like doing it too, but I kind of want to slow down a little bit because I don't know, so far we've been able to things that we didn't sell on our channel. We've been able to do the corner kind of thing. And we've even talked some of it. We've been thinking about maybe selling stuff in like bins. You buy the whole bin or the whole box for blah, blah, blah amount just to get rid of some stuff. Because we've just had too much stuff sitting around here, but now we don't know what's going to happen with the corner. So I don't know.
Well, G is not that kind of go on a cruise kind of guy. You can take him to a casino, so he'll go to Vegas or anything like that. Other than that, he likes to drive and vacation. And what's to do on drive and vacation other than thrift in multiple states? So, and he likes to do that. He likes to shop as much as I do. He wants. I
like doing that too. Yeah. See, and I would have been fine. Just taking another trip to the East Coast or something. We had talked about going south, maybe a little bit for the winter if it got too cold here. And I'm happy being in the car and going to all these other places around the country. Going to see my daughter in Ohio. This is a rough time of year for that, but I'm totally cool doing that. Totally cool doing that. But Brad's been wanting to do a bigger. He wanted to go to Costa Rica. And I got nervous about that because I don't know, is it safe for people? He's like, well, if you stay with these tour groups, they know where to take you, where you're not going to be subject to these cartels and all of this kind of stuff. But it made me a little bit nervous. And then I worried too about my mom. My mom is 89 years old. And for the most part, I'm very fortunate and lucky to have her and have her as healthy as she is. But still, at 89 years old, anything can happen. And so I feel like if I was so far away, you're that far away, how do you get back? So I'm still even nervous about that doing this. But he's like, well, that's what travel insurance is for and blah, blah, blah. So if something happens, try to get home as quick as you can kind of thing. So,
well, my niece, she had her honeymoon in Costa Rica and they've traveled there several times since. They like it. And Helen, I slept through that storm this morning too. So makes me sleep. When the hurricane comes, I go to sleep.
Yeah, me too. David's up all night. He's like a nervous cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Well, that bothers him. I like to watch out the window and watch the wind blow. Yeah, we've watched the trees fall over, but then I get tired, so I just go to bed.
When we were getting flooded, I was fine. It wasn't coming in yet.
Me being awake is not going to do anything. And in fact, drunk people crash better. So if I'm asleep, I'll do better if something happens.
Yep.
So.
Well, I think that would make me a little bit nervous if I lived in tornado country, I think. I can remember when I was a kid, my mom's family was all from Iowa. So my grandparents lived in Southeast Iowa. And we would spend summers back there. And I remember, and like you said, the calm before the storm, I remember it getting that way. All of a sudden, things would get really, really calm. You wouldn't hear a bird. You wouldn't hear anything out there. And then boom, suddenly it would hit. And it would go all night long. And I can remember my grandfather sitting up all night trying to be sure everything was safe and everybody was safe. But, and we never got hit there, but I mean, we got, it would go around us. And when it does, yeah, I know that it's scary. That's scary. Those high winds are really scary.
Well, there's no need for both of us to be that nervous, so I'm just like chilling and let him do all the worrying. Cause I worry the other rest of the time.
Besides, she had a bottle of wine. She's a little sleepy anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna relax.
Yeah, a bottle of wine.
We're gonna relax. What happens. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
You have a basement, so if you get that warning, you can go into your basement. No,
Texas don't have basements.
No, we would have a pool if we tried to dig a basement.
Really? You're that close to the water, then, huh?
And our land is like a boat on water. You know, our land shifts. It gets really hard because, you know, of no rain, then it's really gooey, or, you know, it shifts. I feel like I forgot how the term my dad put it. We're a boat on land. It dries up and it's hardened, and then it shifts this way, then it shifts that way.
We've either got clay or sand.
We're mostly clay around here. Yeah.
So we're not as bad as like New Orleans, where we got to bury our dead above ground. But
yeah,
in Galveston, they do. In Galveston, most of them are above ground.
See, I'd like to, now, see, that's the kind of thing that would be right up my alley, to see some old cemeteries like that flood so that the bodies are all floating around. I'd be having a heyday with that.
Oh, you would have been a hoot back in the storm of 1900 when all the bodies come floating back in, when they disposed of them out in the water.
Well, and during Katrina, they were showing pictures like during Katrina with in New Orleans with the bodies floating around and stuff. They were coming out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They were coming out of their graves. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know, if you're not in a concrete vault, you may pop up again.
You know, I wonder how they handle that, because, you know, they're finding caskets, but, you know, they didn't label the caskets.
No.
But I bet you
they identifying these bodies.
Well, yeah, but
carve into the casket the names.
Yeah, but if the casket is still closed, but if
some
the
of them will
casket's
pop
not
open.
Yes, if your casket's not closed, then you're probably not in there.
That place is haunted, and I'm telling you, that is a one haunted place. Then all of everybody being released. Yes.
Well, we wanted it when we were after we left you guys, when we were down there last year. Do you realize that was like a year ago? Something popped up on my Facebook page
in January.
Was it January?
This month. Yeah.
Oh. So it's been a year since I've seen you, Martha?
Yes, it's been a year. So when we left you guys,
Margo, Margo, Martha, whatever.
I'm not Martha. I'm David.
1989, Pamela says, was that.
David.
So we went down. Neither one of us had ever been to Louisiana. So we had that rental car still for like 8 or 9 days or something like that. So we hit Shreveport. I think we stayed in Shreveport the first night. And then we hit Baton Rouge. I can remember thrifting in Baton Rouge. We hit this thrift store.
Rouge.
But how do you say it? Baton Rouge?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. So oh God, it's bad. I'm gonna tell her I'm live with you guys. What are you doing?
What was it?
Wait.
What are you doing?
I'm on live with Tammy and Martha right now, doing the 2 chicks in a chat.
Are you really?
Yes, you should come into the chat.
Okay, I'll have to go pull it up.
Okay.
We hear you.
We can hear you, Beth.
That's coming in. So anyway, but we hit this place in Baton Rouge, this thrift store, because what we would do, Brad would just say, just Google thrift stores. And so we'd get directions, and we hit this one, and it was in this part of town that was very intimidating.
Sketchy.
And the outside, when we found it, was like an older brick building, and it had graffiti all over it. And so then Brad realized you didn't go in that front area. You had to go around to the back into this parking lot. So we got back there, and I'm like, I'm not going in there. I said, you go in there and look around and tell me if there's anything worth coming in there for.
I ain't going through no back door anywhere.
Oh God. So he went in and he came back. I said, no, it's fine. So hey Beth. So we went in and we actually scored some pretty good little things in that thrift store. It was all right. So, and then anyway, so we ended up going to Nolans, and we got a Best Western in the French Quarter. We walked up to Bourbon Street that night to get something to eat. I found $246 on the ground and went to Madame Laveau's House of Voodoo and spent some money, honey. It was so fun. But the next day, we did want to go to those well, we found a little one that was close by in some thrift store area we'd hit. But I wanted to go to one of those real big ones where, there was lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so the gal at the hotel told us where to go the next morning. And we went up there because it was close to the hotel and you couldn't get in. They had completely closed it off. Reservation tours only, because he said, you couldn't just go in and walk around anymore because people were in there doing unspeakable things.
Mm.
Unspeakable. I bet we could speak about
unspeakable things. So we didn't get
that
to go
brings
to
a lot of
things
to head.
I'm scared. I'll speak about them. No guts, no glory.
Unspeakable things. I could just imagine.
Well, you got to come back to Texas.
I know. I want to come back to Texas too. I've been telling Brad I want to come back to Texas. I want to go south again. I want to go down and see Mary. I've got some stuff to take her in Arizona, and we've got some new friends in Arizona too I'd like to meet. And I love New Mexico.
We're making friends everywhere.
And you love what, baby?
I love New Mexico. I really love New Mexico. I just like New Mexico. The hospitality, the people there. I like the country. We stayed in Las Cruces for a couple of days. I really liked Las Cruces. So I'd like to go through New Mexico again and come into Texas and come further down to where you guys are instead of up into Fort Worth. Or maybe go through Fort Worth area stuff, but come down to closer to where you guys are. And of course, back to Oklahoma. I have a great friend in Oklahoma who's got turtles right outside her back patio that I like to go out and have coffee with and talk to every morning. So,
and I bet they listen.
They fun.
Listen to you.
Yeah, see, I said more. We have new friends in Arizona, in Prescott, Pamela 13.
Oh, lucky.
Mm-hmm.
That's my.
Oh, and Catherine's in Arizona too.
My favorite place in Arizona is that
Prescott
there.
Is.
Yeah, northern Arizona. That's the best.
I have to look at the map.
I haven't been to Arizona.
Exactly where it is.
I haven't been to New Mexico. I haven't been to California. I haven't been a lot of places.
Well, you haven't been to Nevada either, have you? Rural Nevada.
I went to Las Vegas once.
That's
nothing. I was 21 when I turned 21. That's when I went. We flew there and left, You
want to come out and see rural Nevada and let us take you like up to Virginia City and to the dive bars with the bras hanging off the ceiling. You get a free drink.
Yeah. Do you ever go to California? Because y'all are right next. I mean, you're real
California
close.
border is only like 40 minutes from us, maybe an hour.
So y'all ever go there?
From Reno, it's only 10 minutes. The California border is 10 minutes from Reno. So.
Do you ever go to California thrifting?
Yeah, once in a while, Brad and I, in fact, we almost did a couple of weeks ago. There's a little town called Susanville, which is northern California area, or north of us anyway, up toward like Mount Shasta. And coming back from one of our trips, we stopped at this Goodwill in Susanville and really did well. So we have gone back a couple of times. We haven't gone lately, though. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but the weather was funny and it was too late in the day. I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. We did when Beth and her husband Jeff came out, we went over to Fort Bragg, California with them, which is right on the coast of Northern California. We did quite a bit of thrifting in Fort Bragg. We actually went clear up to Oregon with them. We went up to Gold Beach, Oregon too. And we thrifted the whole way. If we found a thrift store, we were all stopping, all four of us. All four of us, because they like to thrift. We like to thrift.
That's what I do when we get on the road. I just Google thrift stores and antique places. So that's how I do it too.
One of my favorite off the wall places in Nevada is Tonopah.
Oh, that's not real far. Actually, it's probably about 3 hours from where we're at. Tonopah, Gold Hill. No, not Gold Hill, Goldfield. Goldfield, Nevada. Yeah. And there's an old hotel there. You know the story about the Goldfield Hotel.
I thought you were going to talk about that one in Tonopah that's haunted. We stayed in that one.
Which one? Oh, the old Mizpah?
Mm-hmm. That old one that's got you go up the little steps and it's got that long hall and you got the little
They've redone that. Yeah, I think that's the old Mizpah. But in Goldfield, there's an old hotel that is not open anymore. that it's not boarded up though. Supposedly it's resold a couple of times and people were going to do something with it, but they featured it on one of those ghost hunter shows. I can't remember which one. And they've gone in with all their detectors and blah, blah, blah. But supposedly some guy who owned the hotel back in its early heyday, which I think was only, it's not that old. I'm thinking like 1930s, maybe 40s. And he was involved with some hooker that he got pregnant, and he ended up throwing her and her baby down the elevator shaft or some kind of thing. There's a old horrible story about it or something. So supposedly there's all this haunting energy, you know, all through this old hotel. I'd love to get in there. You can look in the windows, but you can't get in. I'd love to go in.
There's one of those in Liberty.
Really?
Yes, because we stayed in, and it's definitely haunted. And it's one of those that, you know, the bathroom's down the hall, but you have a sink in the corner of the room, you know, because it's from the turn of the century, 1910.
Did you hear anything?
Yes. We went there when my daughter graduated. She wanted to go on a ghost hunting trip, so that was the first place we went and stayed. And it was a creepy place. There's rooms you can't go in because they're too haunted. The owners won't allow you to go in them.
Oh, you're safer just staying outside on the other side of the door.
Because too many things happen in the room.
Oh, wow.
So we did all the, you know, we had the little lights that would light up with movement, you know, in the dark. And my daughter's doing
y'all had y'all's ghost hunting.
Yes, she had all of her ghost hunting stuff, checking temperature, and she's you know, trying to do EVP to see if she could get anybody to answer her or talk back. And so nothing happened. So we go to bed. We're sleeping in this just a double bed. And I'm on the outside and she's against the wall. And she can't sleep.
It's just you two?
It's just us two. She's wired. She's freaked out.
You're brave.
She says, you know, all night long she's hearing these scratching noises. She goes, I don't know if there's rats in the walls or what these noises are. And so I'm laying there and I'm asleep, and I told her, quit pulling the covers. Quit pulling the covers. She goes, I'm not pulling the covers. And I realized she can't be pulling the covers because I'm sleeping like this, and the covers getting pulled this way, and she's on that side, and the covers are getting pulled like this on this side.
Oh, that's not creepy.
And then I heard this noise that sounded like a dog growling. And so I jumped up and said, oh, hell no. So we threw on our clothes, and we went and spent the rest of the night sitting at the Whataburger until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my
God,
we went back.
We went back and picked up our stuff and left. And she goes, I don't want to ghost hunt. Can we go somewhere else for the rest of the vacation?
Margo, you scared me.
How'd you scare me? What'd you do?
Because it was quiet and you're sitting there, and I'm a very visual person. I imagine things in my head as I'm doing it, and it's quiet. And I have my speaker. Margo's over here on the other side over there.
Oh, yeah, okay. And, the speaker's over there.
And you kind of giggle. And I was like, what is that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
In Ireland.
She's your ghost.
No, in Ireland, at the Hand Hotel in Ireland, we were in the room, and my sister was there, and I was there, and my daughter was asleep. It was one of her high school trips we know. She went to sleep in the bed, and I was standing there beside her bed, and I said something, and I said, look at her, she's passed out. And somebody laughed. And I was looking right at my daughter, and it was just this little, like that. Just this little soft giggle. My daughter didn't make a noise. My sister, I turned and looked at her, and she goes, oh my God, what was that? So there was a ghost laughed at us in the room.
Oh, heck no.
Now, where's this? This is where I would want to go. That's where I would want to go.
It's called the Hand Hotel, and I believe it was in Ireland. We went to Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England, and I believe it was we were still in Ireland. The Hand Hotel.
That's what's wrong with Martha.
What?
Because Kathy says
you're growling to get out. I did. We got out. We left. We went. The room we stayed in was the room that this guy had caught his girl with. And when he shot them and they died right in the doorway, both of them, of that room. And that was the room we stayed in. Now it's like it's a flop house now.
What's that?
Aww.
it's a lower end, by the night, cheap weekly rate, things like
For
that.
15 minutes.
I don't think they do 15 minutes. I think it's just a nightly, and I don't think they.
You
I
can't
don't
rent a
think
room
they're
by the hour then.
right. Yeah, I don't think it's. I mean, it's been a while since I've been there. This was when my daughter graduated, so he's 27 now. So that was a long time ago.
What's a TT bar? What's that be?
Kitty bar.
There's some
TT
spice
bar.
in there.
We got lots of those. We went exploring not far from here. Is where an area of brothels was. Between here and Reno, you end up in a county for a brief period called Story County. And the prostitution in Nevada is not legal all over Nevada. The stuff that you see going on in Las Vegas is not legal activity. And in Reno, it's not legal activity. Prostitution is only legal in rural counties in Nevada with populations under, I can't remember what the number is now, 400,000, I think, something like that. And so, anyway, in the old days, there were two brothels. The original Mustang Ranch was owned by a guy named Joe Conforti, who was a little Italian guy. And the stories have it, he and his wife, Sally, they were originally, before they opened up the brothel, he was driving cab and she was pulling tricks in the back of his cab, when he'd drive her around Reno. So this is going back into like probably the 50s, I think, probably somewhere in that area. Anyway, so one of the old brothels, it was called Old Bridge Ranch, and it was part of the Mustang Ranch conglomerate, I guess you could call it. And so the Old Bridge, the building is still there. And somebody had told us about going in there and that, you can just walk right in. And so Brad and I drove down there one day and explored it. And you can just go in, and it's just, there's not a lot. We pulled out some old magazines and stuff. We found a few old pictures, but the majority of it's been closed down now for, God, I don't know, more than 20 years, I would guess. And it's filthy. It's just infested with like rat feces and stuff. There's still beds and remnants of what happened, what was going on in there, but not a lot. I was really hoping to find some good old brothel.
Not a lot, but there's still stuff going on there. Not a lot, but there's rat feces and still stuff going on.
What were you hoping to find, Margo?
Yeah.
Stuff still going on, or really good stuff still going on?
Collectibles.
What's collectible?
Those old ashtrays, maybe. And
okay.
I mean, in those days, they actually had, that would say like Old Bridge Ranch or Mustang Ranch. So matchbooks, ashtrays, any of the old advertisements, napkins, with the logos, or, maybe some, tassels.
I get what you're saying, because
some tassels. Those kind of tassels.
Look, you've got stuff. We could make some.
We can make tassels.
Yeah, what
are you looking at?
You've got stuff in your sewing room. You've got tassels.
You can make little pasty things. People buy that stuff. I've got some somewhere that I've got. When I was doing those adult boxes for a while, I would put little tassel pasties in them and stuff like that. I think I sent some to Vinny, and he wouldn't even show them online when he did his unboxing. Randy had me do a box. I mean, we're talking 2 years ago. He had me do an adult box for Vinny, and he wanted me to be sure that Vinny didn't open it, or that he opened it live. And I felt so bad because I really put a lot into it to be sure he had some neat stuff. I know that there were tassels, and I found some silk stockings with the seams up them and everything. I thought those would be up his alley. I put like a Sex to Sexy book in there, and I had come across some chips that came from the old Cherry Patch Ranch, which is down closer to Vegas. And on the chip, it said "good for one free." The F-bomb. And I felt really bad because when Vinny opened it, he was not at all like responsive or had fun with it. I felt like he felt humiliated.
I can see him being like
embarrassed.
Yeah, and
I think he felt embarrassed.
Even.
Yeah,
I
He's
thought it
younger
was
than
so
people
cute.
realize.
he's young.
He's a young guy, and he's really kind of shy.
I'm gonna have to bring that up to him and ask him about that.
Yeah, next time
I know. I just really felt like, oh, he didn't enjoy it. You know, I really wanted him to have fun with it, and he did not act like he enjoyed it at all. Oh, see, Tammy Renee says she remembers it, and he blushed. Yeah.
Do you remember the Astroworld Hotel?
No.
Did you ever go to Astroworld?
I went to Astroworld, but not the hotel.
Okay, you know where the parking lot was across the street from Astroworld, where the Astrodome was? Okay, right there at that corner, I think it's Fannin and whatever that highway was. There's a hotel there, and it was the Astroworld Hotel. I think it's Judge Hoffines built it. And the top floor is penthouses. And that's where the acts used to stay when they would come do the rodeo, like Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra and, you know, people like that. Those penthouses are still up there full of their decor. I just saw a video on it the other day. A guy just got in there recently and got to film it. It's beautiful. I mean, the beds and all the furniture's still in there. All the decorations are still in there.
From
the
that
pictures,
era?
the curtains.
Wow.
Yes, from the 60s. Yes, it's fabulous. Astro World.
Do you remember that? Are you familiar with Astro World?
I've never heard of Astro World. I'll have to look that up. How fun!
It was our theme park.
Yeah, and then Six Flags bought it. But back in the 60s and 70s, it was Astro World, and it was owned by the same corporation that had the Astrodome, where they did the rodeos and did the football games, the baseball games. Houston Astros played. So they had a special hotel.
Maybe she thought you were saying Astro World.
Astro World.
Well, you know, we were talking about chicken ranches and stuff. So
speaking of chicken ranches, we went to Round Top this past weekend, and the chicken ranch. There's a field called the Chicken Ranch. Right.
Yeah, but that's not the chicken ranch.
No, it's not the original chicken ranch.
But some people thought it was.
Yeah, and David says, and you're going to hear it in my video. David says, no, this was a what do you call it? Another place like the chicken ranch. And I was like, how do you know this? How do you know this? Really, how do you know this?
Have you never listened to ZZ Top?
Well, and then we get in there and he sees that, he says, there's a sign here. There's, you know, things that, you know, tell you that that's what it was. And there's a sign hanging on the wall next to a hutch, only about this much room in between the wall and hutch. And there's a sign there. I don't remember what it says now. I don't remember what it says now, but I try to video it and you can barely see it, but he read it. So it's on the video now. But I still don't know to believe him if it was
the chicken ranch was just outside LaGrange.
Right. But he's saying it's not the original chicken ranch. It was a little house. It was a little hoochie house.
Hoochie house.
So it was the best little hoochie house in Texas.
In Texas.
Best little hoochie house in Round Top. So we'll see. I videoed in there before. He's never told me this before until this particular weekend, last weekend. So I don't know how he knows. Chicken ranch next to Lone Star Glen. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you're from here. Where are you from?
Then maybe she meant Astro World, but those dollar signs were because she knows how expensive it was.
So yeah, she's from here.
Okay, well, I gotta go to the store and get beer and wine.
Beer and wine. I'm not drinking anymore.
You're
not drinking any less either, are you?
Well, not for another week anyway. We went out Saturday night. We went down to the honky tonk, and I told Brad, I said, I swear somebody roofied me or something. I mean, it hit me and hit me. Really. Maybe it's more because I have been sick and I haven't been drinking or indulging in any of my herbal libation, and I was doing both that night, because I'm not kidding. Suddenly the whole room was just spinning on me, and I was like, take me home. And I suffered yesterday. I paid for it. Actually, that was Saturday. So Sunday I paid for it all day and a little bit yesterday. I was better yesterday, but even Sunday night I couldn't eat anything until like 8:00 Sunday night. It really
I think you just caught a bug.
I'm wondering. I'm wondering. It was not a fun hangover. I woke up feeling like I was okay, and then as the rest of the morning kind of progressed, I was like, "Oh no, I'm not feeling so good." So
Yeah. See,
So you're not drinking no more, huh?
it usually works the
well,
opposite
not
way
for another week, for a week, not till next weekend.
I'm taking a break.
Oh God. I like my whiskey. You know, I like my whiskey. Maybe I need to lay off the whiskey and go back to vodka for a while or something. I don't know. I don't.
These hard ones.
I need more menage a trois, so that didn't come out right.
I was just saying, okay.
Here we are. Sorry, I'm not going to help you out with that one, Martha.
Oh, Tam and Dave's there for me.
Don't you start rumors.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, there is Tammy's there for me then. Or maybe
Oh, we're getting worse. It's only getting worse.
Maybe you and Dave are there for gear.
Do not listen to her. I think she's been day drinking, is what she's been doing.
Hashtag bring back the day drinking.
I don't day drink. If I day drink, I have never been a day drinker. I'm an after dark drinker. I've never been a good day drinker.
If I'm in Vegas, I can drink any time of the day or night.
Will they make it weak? Mm-hmm. Don't they make it weak there?
No, it's just that you're so pumped up, moving, going, doing things. You're awake. So it really doesn't matter what time it is. You just, if you want to drink, you just drink. I have had to work very hard to get drunk in Vegas. Seriously. And that's
I never worked hard at
bottles.
getting drunk. I don't like being drunk.
Well, I don't either. It's just that you're so busy doing stuff and wait for so many hours, you know, that, you know, I don't get drunk in Vegas.
Well, it has been, almost an hour and 30 minutes.
We are so over our time.
Just followed. Oh, we have to go check out Lady Luck Junk. She's in.
Yeah, I love that name.
I love that name, and she knows about Round Top. You know, we have meetups in Round Top. Miss Lady Luck.
Wait a minute, Lady Luck Junk. Are you the one that went and stayed at one of the houses downtown Round Top?
Did you?
Is that well? I mean, no, seriously, because I saw somebody that did that. They stayed at one of the rented a Airbnb right there in the middle of Round Top, right in the
I
middle
would love
of
to do that. We would have to really book that early. I'm sure they're booked out for years, anyways.
Yes, that's me.
I've
told her ever since then that we need to rent that place that you rented, because they were in this. It was upstairs and it's right there on the second floor. It's got a nice balcony, so they had great videos of them sitting out on the balcony watching everybody.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
That would be really fun.
Yes,
that would be fun. That would be fun.
And everything.
The last one we did was the October thing, but you said you went early that week. I think you went the week before it really opened up.
It was cheap. How early did you have to book this place? Girl, you need to text me. You need to message me.
Please send us the info, because we would like to stay in that one once, because it looks so much fun. But if I'm still thinking of the same person, then she went like the week before it really opened up, and she had her car packed.
Oh, I bet, because she got all the good stuff before everybody else started buying.
Yeah, she bought all of our stuff.
The Glam, I checked into that. Woo, that thing's pricey. That's real pricey. The Glam.
Yeah, this was like a house, and I think they had rooms, B&B downstairs and the B&B upstairs. But they didn't have to go far to eat or mess around or anything.
I would love to be able to chill on the balcony, watch the crowd.
That would be fun. That would be
fun. People watching.
G and I will be sitting there on the balcony,
watching
for y'all to come back. That's what's going to be happening.
And then you can just walk down to everything if you want to. You're just right there.
I could not stay at the. You
at the Lone Star.
Cool.
See, the problem is Tammy and them, they'll go until it gets dark, and me and Gary we got to start drinking.
You got drink wine. I'll bring wine. We'll bring beer. We can do that.
But then we had to drive so far to where the house was. we don't like to do a bunch of drinking and then drive.
No,
we want to drive and then do our drinking.
Well,
where
it's
our
not like
bed
we
is, because
get,
you know,
we don't drink like 3 or anything a lot while you're out there walking.
well, that's what I mean, though.
We need all of our hands empty.
I have to be at a drinking location by a certain time when I'm on vacation.
All right, Lady Luck, we need to get together with this.
Yes.
I want to know your tricks and your secrets.
Yes, we need the secret sauce.
And we just went to the winter show, which is, you know, way different. So that was just last weekend. But
did you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
So
I wasn't going. I wasn't. No, I wasn't. No, that was not.
What you just said?
Yeah.
No, you had told me that it was coming up, and because I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I just didn't know it was this weekend.
Do you see this? She says, Lady Luck Junk says, my friend walked down to try and buy cigarettes. The guy said, you won't find cigs, but we'll sell you weed.
Well, I guess you can find anything at Round Top.
Yes, but could they get it wholesale?
Yeah. Well, not everything at Round Top was wholesale.
That's true. And yeah, you don't want to buy your weed at Round Top. Come on. That sounds like a setup.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well,
that's how, you know, when we did that 690-mile garage sale, that was not garage sale prices. Now, granted, some were, because there's people, you know, it's on a small highway. So there's people that live right off those highways too. So they would have garage sales too. Those were the ones to hit. But the big tented areas and stuff, those were the dealers and the real commercialized kind of thing with really, really high prices. But we did some good scores just getting into some of the houses. Those were the ones to hit.
No, Lady Luck, we're not vendors. We are junkers.
Shoppers.
We're shoppers. We just shoppers.
We're the ones that keep the vendors in business. We want to be vendors. We want to fix up my travel trailer and go and stay. Tammy and I stay in the travel trailer and have a booth there at Round Top.
I wouldn't mind experiencing that.
We'll get our hubbies to come set us up and help us set everything up, and then they can just go home, go back to work.
Until it's time to come and tear everything and pack up whatever didn't sell.
Come back when it's ready to close down.
Yeah.
Well, you know, G's going to have to bring the trailer and back it in there just right and set it up and level it and put out the slides and get the air conditioner running. Because it's hot in Round Top. So.
Yeah, that it can be. Hey, I've been there one week where it was freaking cold where you're wearing parka jackets and everything, and then it's 3 days later it's super hot, and then another day it's pouring down rain.
Wait a minute, it did that all in one day that first year that we made.
I don't know that either. Yeah. So.
Okay.
All right, well, we're gonna end this one. Y'all be sure to come back every Tuesday and join us for Two Chicks in a Chat. And tomorrow
thanks for letting me hang out with y'all.
And we have a sale tomorrow at 1 here on Tammy's channel.
Yeah, come back here at 1 tomorrow, Central. We're all Central times here. And then I have a sale with David at 7, our regular Wednesday night sale.
And then we're doing a Texas Gals sale.
Oh, yeah. So
on Thursday night.
There's 4 of us Texas girls that are doing a sale Thursday night. And that's going to be over on Carolina Princess, Sweet Treats and Pretties.
And that's at
5 Central. So
and then I have mine on Friday nights. Friday 4:00 Pacific. So that's 6:00 Central on Vintage PeepShow AGoGo. So come over there on Friday nights and come hang out.
And play the wheel of
wheel.
Did you do that reel like I told you? You do that reel yet?
Brad won't let her. He keeps doing it.
No, I haven't done a reel yet. No, I haven't even toyed with it. I got to finish getting my invoicing done. I had so much between Monday, that sale, that pop-up we did on Monday, and then the Friday thing. And I'm looking at all this stuff, and everybody's boxes were big this week. I had very few little boxes. I don't think I had any envelopes at all. They're all larger boxes this week. So that's why I was up till 2:30 in the morning, and I'm not done. I haven't done Randy. I haven't done Crystal. I'm still working on Linda's. And there's something that's actually coming to you, Tammy, that somebody got to send to you. I got to box that up too.
It must be Randy.
Your big brother sending you something?
Yes, my big brother sending me something then. That
So
would
I
be
got
my
to patch
guess.
that up too. I'm not done yet. And Brad still got.
Well, it's
I
good
got
to be here
bins
right
of
now.
Christmas shit sitting here that still got to go out to the shed, huh?
Yeah, I gotta take my tree down.
I'm
got
gonna
the
put
tree
my
down.
email in here real quick. Vintage
Yes,
for
Lady Luck Junk, please.
Texas at
Message us. Get with us.
mail.com.
Because this sounds like fun. It sounds like fun in the making.
Yeah.
Is that the Lazy Do-It-Yourself film there often? There is a really nice flea market. Is that the one that's around Roseville? Is it the old Roseville Reef Flea Market? I can't even freaking talk. Roseville Flea Market. That's down around Sacramento. I wondered if they were still doing that one. That Graham mentioned that one.
Oh, okay.
No, I think Dillard's Field is Round Top, right?
Isn't Dillard's Field is Round Top, but she's talking about from. Are you talking about Graham?
Oh, what
Graham mentioned one around Sacramento. Sacramento's only about 2 hours from Reno, so it's that it could be a day thing if we want. But you got to drive over Donner Pass and everything. You got to go up over the mountain at 10,000 foot elevation, so you don't want to do that one in the winter.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to do that one in the summer because otherwise Brad will eat you, not in a good way.
I don't want to drive with him out there, and this he makes me nervous enough. He does. He makes me nervous enough.
Okay, y'all.
Okay.
So we told you all of y'all come back
Our
and see
sales
us.
and chats.
So see you next week. Or well, hey, we ain't finished with this week. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks for coming, y'all. Thanks for staying and chatting with us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Freeze